I'm Marty Cohn, and welcome to episode 23 of the monthly award-winning show, Rotary Cares. And today, Rotary is made up of 1.2 million neighbors, friends, leaders, and problem solvers that come together to make positive, lasting change in communities at home and abroad. Established over 110 years ago, Rotary now has over 35,000 clubs all over the world. Rotary's motto is service above self, and Rotarians adhere to the four-way test, a nonpartisan and non-sectarian ethical guide for Rotarians to use in their personal and business lives. The test has been translated in over 100 languages, and Rotarians recite it at almost every meeting. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? In Brattleboro, there are two clubs. There's the Brattleboro Rotary Club that meets every Thursday for lunch at the American Legion, and the Brattleboro Sunrise Rotary Club that meets for breakfast also at the American Legion. Our guests today are Ed Dinnany, a director of the Rotary Club of Bellows Falls, and Ann Henderson, International Service Chair for the Rotary Club of Keene Elm City. We will be talking about international service. Welcome, Ed.
Hi, Marty.
Thanks for coming all the way over from Bellows Falls, or down from Bellows Falls. Ed, how long have you been involved in Rotary?
35 years.
35 years. Oh, my goodness. All right. This is going to test your memory, but why did you join Rotary?
35 years ago, I tried to join a club in Keene. And because for business contacts. And that's when Rotary, if you had two people in the same business, you couldn't join. So then I ended up joining Bellows Falls.
Wow. Okay. Now, 35 years ago, okay, so the Brattleboro Rotary Club was formed in 1950, and Bellows Falls actually sponsored us.
Right, we sponsored you guys.
I know. Well, thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Now, so when does the Bellows Falls Club meet?
On Thursday mornings at Kern Hatton at 7:30.
Oh, okay. So you're in a breakfast club.
Right.
All right. Well, good. So, as we know, international is a big part of Rotary, and your club is involved in Kenya.
Yes.
Can you tell us about what that's about?
Well, we had a friend of mine who has made several trips to Kenya. I brought her in for a speaker, and she told us about these projects that she was doing in Kenya. And there's a school for autistic children in Mumias, actually. And so our club donated to that project that they had there. And then they brought the director, she brought the director over, and she came to our club.
Right.
And our club got pretty excited about trying to do some projects there.
Wow, okay.
And so she gave us a sort of a list of 3 or 4 projects. And we completed the first project, which was, the first item was a laundry. And it's a town of about maybe 5,000 people. And that school has the only washing machine in town.
Wow.
Yeah. So when we installed it, was kind of interesting that the next day after we installed the washing machine, it's reasonably technical, these new washing machines.
Right.
And we came in and there was a lot of clothing out back, and I thought for sure they had done it by hand again. And they said, oh no. They used a washing machine and they were just thrilled.
Wow,
So,
that's fantastic. Now, did you raise money for the washing machine, or how did that work?
well, we actually put in a proposal, but it got in too late. So our club just basically funded it ourselves.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you went and installed it?
Yeah, we went and installed it.
So you're like the Maytag repairman of Kenya.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, and the other way this project worked pretty good, and the reason that there was like 3 projects. The first project, which was the laundry,
Right.
it's also trying to help fund the school.
Right.
Because they're having people come in and they'll do laundry, and they'll charge them to do the laundry.
Right.
So it'll help fund besides taking care of the school. And they have a kid named Tony who's 14, autistic, and they're training him to be the laundry guy.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
It is.
Yeah.
And what was the other? So laundry. What was the other project?
The other project is well, one was suggested to be a shambo, which is a garden.
Okay.
And so actually, this woman funded these people to rent a piece of property where
Right.
they're growing corn and beans together, which will be a money crop for the school. And they
Wow.
also put in a garden at the school. The third part is we're going to go back in February, and we're going to install or build a chicken coop.
A chicken coop.
Chicken coop.
Okay.
Which will house about 100 chickens. And when we were there, we'd see lunch brought in. There would be live chickens coming in, and a few hours later, you'd see somebody plucking them out back.
Right.
So, and it's teaching the kids to be able to take care of the chickens,
Wow.
feed them, and so.
Now, so you personally have gone to Kenya,
Yes.
and are you involved with a Kenyan Rotary Club at all?
Yeah, it's in Kisumu.
Okay.
Actually, there's a club north of Kisumu that we went to, and that's where the director, Sella, she's a member there. She
Right.
joined after she found out what Rotary could do for them through these international projects.
Right.
So, and the club is pretty excited about helping them too. This school, EARC, is the only school for autistic kids in Kenya.
Right.
So it's pretty special.
Now, Ed, how many members does the Bellows Falls Club have?
Well, about 25.
So here we have a situation, a relatively small club, 25, and look at the impact that you're having internationally in terms of this community in Kenya. And it came from a visit, you got an idea, and then you were able to do it.
Right.
That's Rotary in motion.
One of the reasons I actually got started with Rotary was to get started with pure water.
Uh-huh.
And with several of the club members, and we installed a solar hot water system in El Salvador. And you know, if you're a Rotarian and you get a chance to do one of these projects, it really tells you why you're a Rotarian. It's amazing the impact you can have.
Yeah, no, again, not to take credit, but you know, that's Pure Water for the World, Brattleboro Rotary Club.
Right.
We'll take credit.
Absolutely.
For that. And now, Pure Water for the World, it's its own organization.
Right.
I mean, it's amazing. It all started there too. It started with one guy, Peter Abel, coming up with the need, and we did it. And now look at the good that's happening.
Yes.
So this work in Kenya is something that the club's gonna continue to do.
Yeah. Actually, we're getting a couple of students from Bellows Falls Union High School, and they're going to go, and one of their class projects is going to be, one of his class project is to try and make the classroom acoustical.
Wow.
Because right now it's all cement walls, so it's very noisy. You put 8 or 10 autistic kids in there, and it's pretty hard to get anything done. So. And he's going to help us build a chicken coop.
This is fantastic. It really is. And so the other thing is when you go out on this mission, other club members are going with you.
Yes.
That you know, and how long do you think this project will last with your club?
Well, I thought it was going to be a one-time shot, but I think we're going to be doing it a lot. I think you build this connection with an organization there, and you just want to keep on making it better for them. It's pretty heartwarming to see what you do.
I could just imagine.
Yeah.
I could just imagine.
Rotary is really special. It's kind of interesting. We were going through Nairobi Airport, and I had on my Rotary hat. We got to the front of the line, went through. I mean, they know Rotarians, and they know we're doing good stuff in Kenya, and they can't wait to help us.
That is really,
Yeah.
That's really incredible. All right. Well, Ed, I got the last question for you. 35 years. What's the best thing for you about being a Rotarian?
I think the international projects. I think that really gives you some, it's just amazing that you can connect with people all over the world, basically.
Good.
Do good things.
I can't agree with you more. Ed, thanks for taking the time to be on the show. We'll be right back with our guest, Ann Henderson. But first, this brief message from Rotary International about what Rotary International is, its history, its accomplishments, its goals. We'll be right back.
What is Rotary? Rotary is a voluntary, non-profit, non-governmental, non-religious organization of industry professionals and academics working in intertwined autonomous networks providing self-education, exchange of knowledge, and humanitarian aid. It might sound complex, but it's built on a very simple philosophy. You go through life, working, studying, and taking care of your loved ones. But at some point, you might stop and feel a spark. An urge to not only do good, but to help others as well as yourself. Throughout life, you've had tons of ideas. All of them might not have been the most complex or the most developed, but it's the thought that counts, isn't it? When an idea is introduced into the Rotarian network, and we exchange thoughts, knowledge, and experience, ideas grow along with ourselves and are brought into reality. That is what Rotary is. We know that simple thoughts can become the beginning of something huge and life-changing for millions of people around the world. For us, it has led to projects like local mentorship programs, providing clean water, building schools, disease awareness campaigns, scholarships, exchange programs, wigs for cancer patients, teaching kids karate, providing medical care, blood donations, fighting illiteracy, protecting mothers and children, and emergency food supplies. And to think that our first project was a public toilet, and now we're on the brink of eradicating polio. We believe that with the right people, the smallest thing can make a huge difference. So when you feel the spark, remember Rotary.
Welcome back to the award-winning monthly show, Rotary Cares. Today, we're talking about international service with our guest, Ann Henderson, International Service Chair for the Rotary Club of Keene Elm City. Welcome, Ann.
Welcome. Thank you. It's good to be here.
Well, thank you for making the trek all the way across the border and to get here. You got all your shots and your passport.
I did.
All the way from Keene.
Easy peasy.
All right, good. So, Ann, how long have you been involved in Rotary?
Well, you know, I could say almost since birth because my dad was super, super involved. And so when I was a really young girl, it was just watching him stay really active with community service and international service and leadership. But for me personally,
Yes.
It's been 15 years as a member of Keene Elm City Rotary.
Okay. Now, I don't want to assume anything here when I ask, why did you join? It's not just for because it's in your blood, but why did you join?
Well, when the opportunity presented itself, my former husband was a member of the Keene Elm City Rotary.
Okay.
I had many friends. I knew about the club. I knew about the good work that they did in the community.
Right.
And it was it was an honor to be asked to join. It truly was. So it was really, I thought about it a nanosecond.
Okay, good. Now, when does the Keene Elm City meet?
Well, it's funny. In the previous interview, you were talking about lunch and breakfast, right? So
right.
we also have a lunch club and a breakfast club. Ours is the breakfast club.
Elm City.
The Keene Elm City.
Right.
So we meet 7:15 Thursday morning.
Okay, another early riser. Okay, well
Yes.
that's good.
Yeah.
So we just learned about the work of Bellows Falls Rotary in Kenya, and what's the international project that Keene Elm City is involved
Well,
in?
Keene Elm City, over the course of about 20 years, has had a really long-standing relationship with a village in El Salvador called Talnique.
Okay.
And Talnique is in central El Salvador. It is an impoverished village, coffee-growing region. And we go down every year to help build houses there.
Oh.
And in a week's time, a long week with no real time off,
Right.
we can build a very simple house with a locking door, an outdoor kitchen, 2 bedrooms, and a central living area with a concrete floor.
Wow.
It's pretty amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
Now, let's go back one step. When you say we, are you talking about members of your club?
Yes.
And how big is your club?
Our club is now, I think our membership is right around 70 members. The evolution of this project is a little bit interesting. I should get into it because
Sure.
in the beginning it was a project that we did jointly with the other club,
Okay.
taking high school students down to El Salvador.
All right.
About 5 years ago, El Salvador was, parents of high schoolers were concerned that it was unsafe.
Okay.
And so rather than do away with the program, we actually added a second program for high schoolers, taking them to Nicaragua to do similar work.
Right.
But we kept the El Salvador Project because it was so near and dear to our heart.
Sure.
So we had the high school program intact,
Okay.
just going to a different place.
Right.
And then we had an adult trip that was going to our place that is so near and dear to our heart. And the cool thing about both programs, because I have been on both, and they're both extraordinary. The interesting thing about the high school program is that you're doing good, you're working in these impoverished communities, but you also have the experience of watching young people, many of them outside of the country for the first time,
Right.
truly transforming themselves in a matter of a couple of days,
Fantastic.
becoming citizens of the world, playing crack the whip with, if it's orphans or whatever
Right.
little village school where we end up.
Right.
So that has that sort of experience, which is very, very rewarding and fulfilling.
Now, but let me ask you. So you, how many times have you been down there?
This will be, so Nicaragua I did for 2 years.
Right.
And this will be my 8th trip. This coming March will be my 8th trip to El Salvador.
And how many houses have you built?
Over the course of the 20 years, over 100 houses.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, do you, when you go back, do you get an opportunity to kind of see a house that you've built? I mean, are
Yes.
they in the same
Yes.
location?
Yes, they're all in a village, on the side of a village. So when we arrive, the hillside is, they sort of terrace these building sites.
Right.
It's basically in mud season. If you don't have one of these houses, your house is probably going to wash away.
Oh.
Their houses are, thrown together from sticks and mud mortar with pieces of sheet metal held down by cinder blocks. And you can imagine with the muddy hillsides that once it starts to rain,
Right.
these houses literally wash away.
Wow.
And so when we arrive, the hillside is all terraced and nice and flat. They've dug the pylons for the posts that are going to help support the walls.
Right.
And we just get in there and just work. We mix concrete by hand.
Right. Wow.
We mortar. We drop these what's called platkas, which is like horizontal cinder block. They're just like a horizontal block
Right.
of cinder block,
Right.
and goes between the two placas. And just build the walls, and then it's the ceiling. The floors we pour, and then the roofs are sheet metal. And if we have time, we paint. Last year we finished all the way to painting.
Wow. Now, again, when you're saying we, so you go down with some club members.
So now it's a little. I hope I haven't confused, because
No, not me.
we've sort of branched off.
Okay.
We have 2 trips going down.
Right.
So we have the high schoolers that go down
Right.
as a service trip for the Interact Club, which
Right.
is a high school Rotarian
Right.
club. Now we have an adult. It's adult
Right.
only.
Right.
However, we have now joined forces with a Rotaract club. So Rotaract is different from Interact, as you
Right.
probably know. Rotaract is young adults.
Okay.
And that's the hopes of a Rotaract club is that college-age kids and young professionals can learn about becoming Rotarians.
Now, where are they located?
They are located in Keene, and
Okay.
our club and the other club, the Keene Rotary Club, sponsored together this Rotaract Club.
Okay.
So now the trip is between Keene Elm City, and we usually take down about 4 or 5 Rotaractors.
Okay.
So
so you bring those people down. Now, are you working with a Rotary Club in?
Yes, we
there?
work with a Rotary Club, Nora Este, which is out of El Salvador, and they help us secure the materials. When we have nothing to do with the selection of the family, that's all handled on the ground down
Right.
there. So basically, they take care of making sure we have a good foreman, getting us back and forth transportation-wise. There was one year that they felt like maybe we should need a little extra security, although we have never felt for 1 minute felt
Right.
unsafe.
Right.
So they take care of all those sort of housekeeping things for us, so that when we get down there, we just load up our backpacks, get in the bus, go to the work site, and work from around 9 to 4:30, and do it for 7-8 days running.
That is fantastic. So, what you're saying is 100 families have homes because of this joint effort of Rotary.
Absolutely.
And not only that, from what you're saying, not only are you helping the families down there, but by instilling Rotarian values to Rotaract and Interact, that we've got future projects going to happen.
Exactly. There's this complete halo effect of just doing the work together. And the interesting thing about going back to the same village every year is we literally watch the kids grow up.
Right.
We get to know these kids by name. We get to know the families. The families when we come back, the families show us their homes and what they've done and what the plants that they've planted. And
Great.
it's just, I can't really describe the feeling of rolling back up that hill year after year. I said to some person at one point in our club, I said, the only thing akin to it is like being a kid and going back to summer camp.
Right.
And they said, well, you must have gone to pretty arduous summer camp.
Right. It's a lot of work. Hey, lift that cement block.
But that love and that feeling of, I can't wait to see my friends again. And also just, we've made lasting friendships with the adults in the other El Salvadorian clubs. So, for example, we're working together now on some other side projects in terms of fundraising and bringing down things that they need for schools, for medical.
Sure.
We've got a little side project going with some dental help.
Wow.
So
now, when do you go? Is it
we-
different every year or at the
we
same time?
generally go late February, early March.
Wow.
This year
So
we'll
you're getting
be going,
ready. You're getting ready to do another
We're
trip.
getting ready. Early March we'll be heading down. Yeah.
That's just fantastic. So, last question for you. Same question that I asked Ed before, and I kind of think I know what the answer is going to be for you too. What's the best thing for you about being a Rotarian?
Well, just this sort of opportunity. And, I was thinking about it the other day as we're planning for this trip this year, and how difficult it would be to try to organize this sort of thing on your own, making sure you had the right people on the ground, making sure everybody was safe, making sure you had the right connections and helping the right people.
Sure.
And I think having that network and just knowing that what you're doing is, it's you're not in the way, you're not just trying to be another helpful soul in the world that's got a good heart but
Right.
not really getting as much bang for your buck work-wise. And I think that that sense of accomplishment, that you look at this hillside village that, we pretty much have helped all of these people have a more independent and fulfilling life. The other thing I'll say about a door that locks, which is something they would not have had before these houses, it's absolutely paramount to their personal security. So things like that really affect people's lives. They affect the outcome of young people. and the future that they might have. So I just to be a small part of that whole initiative is super fulfilling.
It's fantastic. I thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
All right, well,
Pleasure to be here.
I want to thank our guests, Ed Dinnany and Ann Henderson, and a shout out to Brattleboro Sunrise Rotary past president Kevin Yeager, who's doing all the magic behind the screen, behind the camera. Thanks also to BCTV for recognizing us as the 2018 Nonprofit Member of the Year, and a special thanks to Brian Bashaw for helping us bring this show to you. If you have any questions, concerns, or even ideas for a future show, send them to info@BrattleboroRotaryClub.org, info@BrattleboroRotaryClub.org. I'm Marty Cohn. Thanks for watching.